pull shards smartly, you gotta understand the events under which circumstances. What is that sentence? You be pulling shards under. Hi, I'm BB. I hope you understood what I meant to say. Welcome back to my channel. It's always nice to have you here. It's always nice to read each other's minds like that, even if I'm not making much sense. I know you feel me, homies.
We do.
Today we're gonna be talking shards, shard events, everything that I've learned for these 3 months of crazy RNG, some not so crazy RNG, but a lot of observing, talking to people, and watching YouTube videos. So many content creators have paved the way. So many of them have shared their experience for me to understand events like these, shards, what came before me, what is to come after, what kind of trajectory we're heading in. Let's get right into it. Stop right there. Click on the link in the description box right now to get 1 free legendary and 1 amazing epic as you level up. Here are the exact steps you need to follow. Step 1. Log off of Plarium Play on PC and uninstall. If you've never installed Raid on your mobile phone before, this link is gonna work there as well. Step 2. Click the link and register with a brand new email. Step 3. Launch Raid and complete the tutorial. Step 4, go to your inbox, and here we go! You'll find Bambas here as well as Ugo when you get to level 15. Don't forget to use the promo code Supreme6 to get Supreme Gaelic for free! And play for 7 days to get Alice as well. This is an amazing account start in Raid, you guys, so click on my link right now and follow the steps. So, if you're a newbie, if you're new to my channel, if you're new to Raid, you should know about the main kinds of shard summoning events that you will encounter in Raid Shadow Legends. You have already seen a few of these. Chances are you've already seen all of them in rotation, because let's face it, they have them a lot and very often.
14,605,000.
The best kind of shard pulling event that we will be concerning ourselves with discussing are 2x chance events, you guys, when you get double the chances to get legendaries and epics and even sometimes mythicals, you guys. But even with these 2x, your odds are still very slim. But this is ultimately one event that clutches the most for everyone equally. So you're gonna get an increase of a double 1% chance to get a legendary on Ancients and Voids. You're gonna get a 2% chance on Primals, and you're gonna get a 12% Sacreds. So you can do very simple math and know that every time you get a 2x, it's a good time to pull most, if not all, of your shards, you guys. Keep that in mind. The next couple of events that you're gonna be seeing, and a lot of them, are the progressives. The 2x, the 25 branch weaver, okay. The times 10, times 15, times 25, times 20. You've probably seen a few of these already. Now, I'll give you a little bit of history with these, because, you know, they're not a recent thing. Progressives used to make a lot more sense in the past, when they had very few legendary champions on the total roster of champions, you guys. See, you have more than 100 in each league. Let's say, like, you know, you've got the Talarian League, you've got the Galen Pact, you got the Corrupted, and then the Syrian, and the Neresian Union, Nyresian. But in each category, you have more than 100, sometimes 200 champions. And the legendaries in this game, let me give you the exact math.
75 years later.
The legendaries are over 290 and growing. There might be over 300 at this current time. 296 according to the last Hell Hades intro, you guys, entry. So imagine a progressive chance when you only had to choose between, like, what, 90 legendary champions, and now you have over 290. That's 200% more legendary champions to choose from.
Math.
So if you can imagine, let me just like do very ambiguous math. The percents for each of these hitting right now, 10x, 15x, 20x, 25x, are under 20% each. But they, like, so you start out at like 10% of like 10-11% increase after hitting, let's say, your first target, which is usually in progressive chances. You're gonna get 1 for epics and 1 for legendary. So if you hit an epic, you're gonna get an increase in chance, and if you hit a legendary, you're gonna get an increase in chance. It's the same. So when you get your first increase is about 11%. Every subsequent increase is gonna get up to what, under 20%. For 25 timer, like for the X25 chance to get a legendary, you actually get very minimal odds to get that exact legendary champion. And it makes sense when you have a growing roster of legendary champions and the pool just gets bigger, right? So the bigger the pool gets, unfortunately, the more champions they add, the odds will just keep diminishing. That's how I see it, if they just keep having it that way. The structure, if you just keep it that way, you know? So here's something that Raid can fix in the future, definitely.
Write that down, write that down!
Progressives clutch more for mid to late game players that really do need that champion, man. They're getting the heavy FOMO, and you know, sometimes I am a believer of the Lulu. The Lulu sometimes is the Solulu. The more delusional you are, the more life just kind of works out in your favor, you know? And I know a lot of people that have this lucky strike in them. The next up on our list is the 1+1 legendaries. They announce them ever so rarely, and I've not really seen them paired up a lot with 2Xs. Usually they pair up some of these. Progressives can appear with 2Xs. 2Xs can appear with 1+1 legendaries. I've not seen progressives being paired with 1+1 legendaries. Maybe they have been at some point. You know, I just haven't been around to see it. But if they pair a 2X with a 1+1 legendary, just so you know, if you pull one legendary and then you pull another legendary, which is how this event works, you pull one legendary and then you get another extra one for free. This only happens once. When you pull your second legendary, if you do, you're not gonna get a double for free.
Oh, hell no!
Just so you know. That's just a heads up for the people that don't know. Now on these extra legendary chances, I usually get tempted, you know, like I would, if I was a mid-game player, pull, if it wasn't during a 2X, during a 1+1 legendaries. These on sacreds can clutch nicely, because the chance is already a little bit higher than the rest of the shards, and I really haven't seen extra legendary on ancients either ever or for a very long time. So you know, you have the upside of getting a literal legendary champion for free, and then you get the downside only having that happen to you once. And now, the main event / tournaments that you're gonna get on any shards, and this can happen during fusions, outside of fusions. A lot of the times you're gonna get them maybe even not even spaced out a week after one another. You're gonna get them in the same week. So what you need to know about summon rushes versus champion chases, which are the two main tournament events. Summon rushes will give you points based off the shard that you pull. So if, say you pull sacred shards, that's gonna give you the most amount of points. Then you pull, then primals, then voids, then ancients. Sometimes voids give more than primals, I've seen. But in any case, sacreds are gonna give you the most points. It doesn't matter what kind of champion you're gonna pull out of these shards. Summon rushes ask you to just use the shards of the highest quality. That's how they give points. Versus champion chases that will reward you points based off the rarity of the champion that you have managed to pull from whatever shard. Champion chases also apply to mystery shards. That's how you snipe tournaments. That's how I sniped Treasure Cat. I had 1,800 mystery shards sitting there waiting for me, and in the very last couple of hours I sniped.
Yeah, I did it. Life goes on.
I got a few rares, mostly I got commons and commons, but I got 1,800 to spend, and thankfully they got me through and I didn't even have to spend all of them. But that's the gist of the champion chases and why it's good to save your ancients and voids for champion chases and leave your sacreds and primals and such for summon rushes if you're gonna be opening during an event. But most of all, you're gonna be concerned to be looking for 2x events. When you see nothing shining here, you forget about the portal, get it out of your sight until you see it starting to shine and beam and glow in all rainbow colors, guys. So, we're seeing a major problem here, right? Well, it's a no-brainer that we currently have an event that is essentially just not working. And you guys might have already seen Ash's recent video and I kind of got inspired by it. But the numbers, you know, are discouraging for players that are genuinely experiencing FOMO and they're relying on these progressive chances to get the legendary that they really have wanted for a very long time. Kind of like how, you know, you can make you can have a wish list here in the Altar of Souls. It would have been very cool at least to have some sort of wish list here on the shards I mean, we hit those very rarely, but they clutch sometimes. I would lie to say that they haven't ever. So maybe that would be some solution, or maybe just like raise the rates. There's so many legendaries, so many new champions added to the rosters that it, you know, it makes sense that our odds diminish, but that way you're gatekeeping an entire community of new beginner players from participating in these events. And I gotta tell you a secret. Come a little closer. Plarium? If you want newbies to spend more money in the game, let them spend their shards more often. And let them actually clutch. Thank you. Because tell me, how will you ever exit mid-game as a beginner if your shard pulls just never clutch? If you never pull the champions that you want? If you sit and you wait for every event? You know, I'm just speaking out of a business standpoint here. You guys hear me out. I'm trying to cook here for you guys. You want more money? You want newbies to spend more money on your game? That's one hell of a way to do it. Just increase your odds for summoning legendary champions, man. And the moment that it starts clutching for people and they start pulling the champions that they want, you won't even have to beg them to put money in your game. You don't have to ask them. Because I feel like a lot of people with progressives have become discouraged, you know? And it's fair. It's totally normal. I also would get discouraged if I didn't have someone from Plarium tweaking my numbers over here. I would also be very goddamn discouraged. And on another hand, sacreds are not that easy to come by, you guys. If you are not able to raid the last couple of chests in Demon Lord Clan Boss, and I mean Nightmare, Ultra Nightmare, where are you getting your sacreds from? Practically nowhere. You're practically getting them here from the... Are you even getting them from the missions? You're getting them from the monthly quests and like the occasional campaign. And at one point you won't be able to. You're gonna get to the last one in the campaign, and then what? And then what, homie? What are you gonna do? So yeah, now that you're well adversed in how these events work, need I remind you that I have a few tutorials on how to snatch a little more ancient shards monthly. I'm gonna make a helpful little guide on how to snatch a little more void shards on a monthly, save up enough for fusions at the very least. Because now, at the point in which I'm sitting in my account, I have figured out a good scheme to save up on shards without necessarily restocking on anything but the dire ones. Well guys, I hope you found this helpful. I hope you're not discouraged from pulling on every 2x you see. And if you ever want me to pull your shards because you believe in my luck more than you believe in your own luck, you can hit me up on my Discord. You can find me on my clan chat. You don't need to be a part of my clan to get a shard pull done from me, you guys. So just hit up my chat, hit up my Discord, find it in the description box. And thank you for watching. And I hope to see you again in the next one. Bye!